What is my favourite chapter in every Harry Potter book? Welcome to a brand new mini-series here on the Zogwarts YouTube channel called Quickfire Lists. I'm going to be ranking a whole load of Harry Potter related topics, and as the name of the series suggests, I'm going to be doing it quickly. So make sure you hit subscribe and comment down below topic ideas related to Harry Potter lists you'd like to see in the future. So with all that out the way, here is my favourite chapter in each Harry Potter book, starting with The Philosopher's Stone, Chapter 1, The Boy Who Lived. Of course, where else could I start this list than with the first ever chapter in the Harry Potter series. The opening chapter of The Philosopher's Stone is the perfect way to introduce a kids-friendly but magical book series. Rather than throwing us right in at the deep end with a whole load of magical nonsense that no one's going to understand, we start the chapter with a muggle. We follow Vernon Dursley around on a fairly ordinary workday for him, but slowly throughout the day we see little glimpses of what could only be described as magic. This is the perfect way to say to us that there is something not quite right about the world we're about to be entering. Of course, that is only half of this chapter though, because for the second half of this chapter we meet Dumbledore, McGonagall, Hagrid and baby Harry and start to learn the beginnings of the story we're about to jump into. For the Chamber of Secrets, I've gone with Chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge. This is undoubtedly one of the most jam-packed chapters in the Harry Potter series. Not only does Harry find that his dormitory has been ransacked and the diary has been stolen, he also starts hearing scary voices again, Hermione gets petrified, Harry and Ron visit Hagrid and overhear a conversation between Dumbledore, the Minister of Magic Cornelius Fudge and Lucius Malfoy, where both Hagrid and Dumbledore are removed from Hogwarts. What a crazy chapter. For The Prisoner of Azkaban, I've gone for Chapter 18, Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs. One thing you're going to learn about me if you're new around here is that I love detail. I love finding out things that as a reader I didn't already know about the story, and this chapter epitomises just that. In this chapter, Remus Lupin and Sirius Black attempt to explain to the Golden Trio exactly what has happened regarding them and Wormtail. Expectedly, the Golden Trio start firing off 1,000,001 questions that us the reader have as well, so it's perfect. And we all finally start to come to the realisation that, hang on, maybe Sirius Black isn't the bad guy. Oh, and it turns out that Severus Snape was hiding under an invisibility cloak the whole time. I mean, what's not to love? For the Goblet of Fire, I've chosen Chapter 32, Flesh, Blood and Bone. This is going to be a very quick one because this is the chapter where Harry and Cedric are transported to the graveyard and encounter Wormtail, who kills Cedric Diggory and then brings Lord Voldemort back to a full body. How could this not be my favourite chapter in this book? The Order of the Phoenix is Chapter 37, The Lost Prophecy. Some of my favourite chapters in Harry Potter are where Harry and Dumbledore are alone in Dumbledore's office. Remember that for the next book, by the way. Normally in these chapters, we the reader sit there with Harry, lost, with absolutely no idea what's going on, while Dumbledore breaks down details that we had no idea about and just thickens the plot. And this chapter is essentially the pinnacle of this. This is where we finally learn the reason as to why Voldemort targeted Harry as a baby all those years ago. We learn about the prophecy and why it is Harry's destiny to be the one to take down the Dark Lord. Throw in the fact that Harry is learning about this just hours after watching Sirius die in front of his very own eyes. It's a crazy chapter. It's everything I love and more. For the Half-Blood Prince, I've gone with Chapter 23, Horcruxes. Hey, remember about 30 seconds ago when I said that my favourite chapters in Harry Potter are when Harry and Dumbledore are alone in Dumbledore's office? Well, guess what? We're back there again. And this time we're talking about the ultimate setup chapter. Harry and Dumbledore finally listen to Slughorn's real memory and work out that Voldemort has in fact created multiple Horcruxes and that these must all be destroyed in order to kill him. Harry and Dumbledore theorise over what the potential Horcruxes could be, how many there are, how many have already been destroyed, and essentially set up Harry's mission for the Deathly Hallows book. Every time I reread this chapter, I'm just desperate to move on to the Deathly Hallows book to start hunting Horcruxes, which says to me, it does its job pretty perfectly. And finally, the Deathly Hallows, I've gone for Chapter 33, The Prince's Tale. If you found me here on YouTube by coming over from my TikTok account, link in the description by the way, you will probably know that my favourite character in Harry Potter is Severus Snape. And of course, like most Snape fans, this chapter is exactly the reason why. Now look, I'm not going to start the whole is Snape a good guy or is Snape a bad guy thing, because suddenly this would no longer be a quickfire list. However, there's no doubt that the information we learn in this chapter when we look in the pensive at Snape's memory, a reflection on Snape's entire life, your perception of the man changes. Suddenly you realise that whatever his motives were, he has been working for the past number of years to bring down the Dark Lord and help Harry. Something that comes as a massive shock, bearing in mind we thought that he deliberately murdered Dumbledore at the end of the last book. Not only that, but we also learn that Harry Potter himself has to die. Talk about a crazy chapter that changes so much of the way you look back on the series. And that's my list. Thank you very much for watching, and please, please, please hit subscribe.